Silent watchers. The ship known as Whisperwind glided through the darkness of space, its hull absorbing every stray photon that touched it. To any external observer, had there been any capable of detecting it, the vessel would have appeared as nothing more than a slightly denser patch of void. This was precisely the point. The Galactic Coalition had spent centuries perfecting the art of remaining unseen. Captain Varric shifted his crystalline exoskeleton uncomfortably as he reviewed the mission parameters once more. As a Lyridian, his species had evolved in the high-pressure depths of methane oceans, developing transparent, prismatic bodies that naturally bent light around them. Even among a coalition of species who valued stealth above all else, the Lyridians were considered the masters of concealment. Approaching the Sol system's outer boundary, Captain, announced Navigator Zell, her voice barely above a whisper despite there being no physical way for sound to travel through space. The habit of speaking softly was ingrained in all coalition species. When your civilization's primary directive was, "I know that's not very scientific of me, but sometimes you just have to appreciate the wonder of it all. We're out here, billions of kilometers from Earth, watching the dance of gases that's been ongoing for billions of years. Makes our human problems seem pretty small, doesn't it? Anyway, the data will be fascinating for the atmospheric sciences team back home." Kaczynski out. Silence fell over the Whisperwind's bridge. The concept of openly expressing wonder, of admitting vulnerability, while facing the vastness of space, was alien to coalition culture. "Continue monitoring," Varric ordered, trying to ignore the strange feeling spreading through his crystalline body. It was almost like envy. For 3 local days, the Whisperwind shadowed the human station, intercepting communications and observing operations. The crew listened as humans discussed scientific discoveries with unbridled enthusiasm, shared personal stories from their home world, and even transmitted entertainment, music, drama, comedy, back and forth with Earth. On the 4th day, something unexpected happened. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the nearby rings of the gas giant," reported Miri, her appendages flashing with alarm. Varric moved quickly to the sensor station. "Natural phenomenon." "No, sir. These are artificial constructs, dormant until now. They appear to be activating in sequence." Miri's voice trembled slightly. "Sir, I believe these are ancient hunter probes." A chill rippled through Varric's crystalline form. The Coalition had encountered hunter probes before, autonomous weapons left behind by a long-vanished civilization that had apparently sought to eliminate any spacefaring species that might one day challenge them. Typically, the probes remained dormant until detecting sufficient technology, then activated to eliminate the perceived threat. "The human station is their target," First Officer Talon stated the obvious. "They have no idea what's coming." Security Chief Korik's scaled hands moved across his console. "I estimate 14 minutes until the probes fully activate and converge on the human station. They have minimal defensive capabilities and no weapons that could counter this threat." "Can they escape?" Varric asked, already knowing the answer. "Negative," replied Navigator Zell. "Their propulsion systems require significant preparation time. They won't even understand what's happening until it's too late." Captain Varric felt the weight of coalition doctrine pressing down on him. Their primary directive was clear: observe, record, analyze, never interfere. The coalition had survived for millennia by remaining hidden, by gathering information while never revealing themselves. Yet as he watched the oblivious human station, still broadcasting its discoveries with unbridled enthusiasm, something shifted inside him. He recalled the voice of the human scientist, speaking with such open wonder about the beauty of the gas giant's storms. "Captain," Talon prompted, sensing his superior's internal conflict, "we should retreat to a safer distance. Our stealth systems might not conceal us once the hunter probes fully activate." Varric remained silent, his mind racing through the implications of what he was considering. Breaking coalition protocol meant risking not just his career but potentially exposing his entire civilization. Then, from the communication system, another human voice emerged. "Hey folks back home, this is engineer Marcus Chen checking in. Just wanted to let you know we've got that antenna array fixed ahead of schedule." Turns out all it needed was a little old-fashioned human ingenuity, and Yuki's secret talent for origami. Believe it or not. Who knew paper folding skills would help us reconfigure a damaged solar panel? Anyway, we're back to full communications capacity. Can't wait to send you the new atmospheric data. It's going to blow your minds. The cheerful voice, so full of creativity and resilience, made Varric's decision clear. "Communications, prepare to break our silence," he ordered, his voice firm despite the audible gasps from his crew. "Weapons, ready defensive systems. Navigator, plot an intercept course between the human station and those probes." First Officer Talon stepped closer, mandibles twitching nervously. "Captain, this is a direct violation of our most sacred protocol." "I know exactly what it is, Talon," Varric interrupted, his crystalline form reflecting the starlight as he straightened to his full height. "But I also know what it isn't. It isn't standing by it while sentient beings are destroyed when we have the power to prevent it. The Coalition taught us to hide, to watch from the shadows. But perhaps that isn't always the right path." He turned to face his crew, seeing the mixture of fear and anticipation in their alien faces. "These humans, they've survived and thrived not by hiding, but by facing the unknown with courage and curiosity. Maybe it's time we learned something from them." Varric's voice grew stronger with conviction. "Contact the human station. Tell them who we are and what's coming." As the Whisper Wind's cloaking systems powered down for the first time since its launch, revealing its true form to outside observers, Captain Varric felt an unfamiliar sensation spreading through his crystalline body, a tingling energy that humans might have recognized immediately as exhilaration. The time for watching from the shadows was over. The time for action had begun. Stepping into the light, unknown vessel decloaking off our starboard side. The alarm in the human controller's voice carried clearly through the Whisper Wind's newly activated communication channel. Captain Varric could imagine the chaos erupting aboard the Saturn research station as their sensors suddenly detected a ship that, moments before, had simply not existed. "This is Captain Varric of the Galactic Coalition vessel Whisperwind," he transmitted, trying to keep his voice steady despite the enormity of what he was doing. "Human station, you are in imminent danger. Ancient autonomous weapons are activating in the planetary rings and will target your facility in approximately 11 minutes. We are moving to intercept, but you must prepare for emergency protocols." The silence that followed lasted only seconds, but to Varric, it stretched into an eternity. He had just shattered thousands of years of Coalition doctrine. There would be no going back. "This is Station Commander Diana Reyes," came the response, remarkably composed given the circumstances. "If this is some kind of first contact scenario, your timing is interesting. How do we know this isn't a trick?" First Officer Talon clicked his mandibles in agitation. "They don't trust us. We should retreat and—" "Sensor feed," Varric interrupted. "Send them our sensor data of the Hunter probes. Let them see for themselves." Within moments, the transmission was acknowledged. We see them now." Commander Raya's voice had lost its skepticism. "Our instruments weren't calibrated to detect them." "What are these things?" "Ancient autonomous weapons designed to eliminate emerging spacefaring civilizations," Varric explained as the Whisperwind moved between the station and the approaching threat. "We've encountered them before. Your station's power signature triggered their awakening." "Can we evacuate?" "Negative. They would pursue and overtake your transport vessels." A new voice joined the channel, younger, with an edge of excitement despite the danger. "This is Science Officer Kaczynski. If we can't run, can we fight?" Security Chief Korik barked a laugh, his reptilian features contorting in what might have been admiration. "Facing certain death, and they ask if they can fight. These humans are either insane or magnificent." "We will defend you," Varric assured them. But we need your cooperation. Can you reduce your power signature? The less attention you draw, the more effectively we can engage the threat. Already on it, replied what sounded like Engineer Chen. Shutting down non-essential systems. But wait, you said you've encountered these before. Then you know how to defeat them. Varric hesitated. The truth was that the coalition had always practiced avoidance rather than confrontation. Their few direct encounters with hunter probes had been costly retreats, not victories. We have theories, he admitted. Surprisingly, laughter came through the channel. Well, Captain Varric of the super-advanced alien civilization, we've got a few theories of our own. If you're willing to share data, maybe we can put our heads together, figuratively speaking, since I don't know what kind of head you have, if any. Despite the gravity of the situation, Varric felt something unusual, and urged to laugh. These humans, facing an unknown alien species and imminent destruction, retain not only their composure but their curious, collaborative nature. We accept your offer, Varric declared, transmitting our data now. What followed was unlike anything in coalition history. As the hunter probes activated fully and began their approach, the human scientists and the Whisperwind's crew engaged in a rapid exchange of ideas. The humans brought fresh perspectives unencumbered by coalition doctrine, while Varric's team provided technical knowledge of the ancient weapons. Their targeting systems use quantum entanglement, explained Miri. Conventional countermeasures are ineffective. But they still need sensors to acquire targets initially, countered Kaczynski. What if we overload them? Saturn's rings are mostly ice and silicates, but there are trace amounts of iron. If your ship can generate a strong enough electromagnetic pulse, while we boost our station's EM output in the opposite frequency band, continued Chen, we could create a resonance cascade in the particles surrounding the probes. Korik finished, his scales flushing with excitement. It might blind them long enough for a direct attack. The plan came together in minutes, a hybrid of coalition technology and human ingenuity. As the hunter probes closed to attack range, the Whisperwind synchronized its electromagnetic systems with the human station's repurposed communications array. Ready on our end, reported Commander Reyes, her voice tense but determined. Initiating in 3, 2, 1. Now, Varric ordered. The space between Saturn's rings lit up with invisible energy as the combined EM pulse rippled through the icy particles. The hunter probes, suddenly surrounded by electromagnetic chaos, faltered in their approach. It's working. Miri's appendages flashed brightly. Their targeting systems are attempting to recalibrate. Phase 2, Varric commanded. Weapons, target the central processor units. Fire when ready. The Whisperwind's defensive systems, designed primarily for deflection and evasion, now focused their energy into precision strikes against the temporarily confused hunter probes. One by one, the ancient weapons went dark, their autonomous functions disrupted by the coordinated attack. When the last probe had been neutralized, a cheer erupted over the communication channel. Human voices raised in victory, joined by the varied sounds of celebration from the Whisperwind's crew. I believe, Varric announced, this calls for a proper introduction. The following hours were historic. The Whisperwind docked with the human station, and for the first time, members of the Galactic Coalition came face to face with humanity. The initial shock, humans confronted with the crystalline Lyridians, insectoid aractions, gelatinous nullberry, and other exotic species, quickly gave way to fascination. You've been watching us? Commander Reyes asked, her expression a mixture of concern and wonder as they sat in the station's conference room. For how long? Your species has been under observation since you developed radio communications, Varric admitted. The Coalition observes all emerging spacefaring civilizations to assess their potential threat level. And what's our threat level? Asked Kaczynski, leaning forward with intense curiosity. Varric's crystalline form shimmered as he chose his words carefully. Officially, concerning. Your technological development rate is unprecedented. Your willingness to take risks is unsettling to many in the coalition. Engineer Chen laughed. So we scared the advanced alien federation into hiding from us. That's going in my memoir. Not fear, exactly. First Officer Talon clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. Caution. The coalition was formed by species who survived extinction events. Our founding philosophy is that visibility equals vulnerability. Commander Reyes nodded slowly. And yet here you are, visible to us, having broken your most sacred protocol. Why? The question hung in the air, and Varric felt all eyes, human and alien, turned toward him. Because some principles transcend protocols, he finally said. Because watching from the shadows as sentient beings perish, when we have the power to prevent it, would have made us something less than what we aspire to be. Sounds pretty human to me, Kaczynski remarked with a smile. The conversation continued long into the station's artificial night, covering everything from technical exchanges to cultural comparisons. The humans, far from being fearful or hostile, displayed an insatiable curiosity about the coalition species and their histories. When the time came for the Whisperwind to depart, a decision had to be made. The Coalition Council will need to be informed of this encounter, First Officer Talon reminded Varric privately. There will be consequences. Varric nodded. Yes, but perhaps not the ones they expect. Request permission to come aboard, Commander Reyes. The human looked surprised. You're already aboard our station. No, Varric clarified. I'm formally requesting that a human delegation accompany us back to Coalition space as official first contact representatives. The shock rippled through both crews, but it was quickly replaced by excitement among the humans. You're inviting us to your home? Engineer Chen asked, eyes wide. I'm inviting you to help us change, Varric replied. The Coalition has survived for millennia by hiding, by watching, by avoiding confrontation. But today, we survived. We all survived, by working together, by facing a threat directly. Commander Reyes considered the offer, then nodded decisively. We'll need to contact Earth, but speaking personally, I wouldn't miss this for the world. Or worlds, I should say. 3 cycles later, the Whisperwind departed Saturn orbit with an unprecedented addition to its crew. 5 human representatives, wide-eyed and eager to experience what no human had before. As they prepared for the jump to Coalition space, Varric found Engineer Chen on the observation deck, staring out at the stars. Having second thoughts, the captain asked. Chen shook his head. Just the opposite. I was thinking about all those years you spent watching us, hiding your existence, and what you might have been missing. Missing? The joy of connection, Chen explained. See, humans learned early that while hiding sometimes keeps you safe, it also keeps you isolated. Reaching out, taking that risk to connect with others. That's where the real discoveries happen. Varric considered this as his crystalline form refracted the starlight. The Coalition Council may not see it that way. What we've done will be controversial. Chen smiled. All the best things are. But consider this. What if your founders were wrong? What if visibility doesn't equal vulnerability, but rather possibility? As the Whisperwind accelerated away from the Sol system, carrying its unprecedented human cargo, Captain Varric felt a profound shift in his understanding of the universe. For millennia, the Coalition had defined itself by what it avoided: detection, confrontation, risk. Perhaps now, with humanity's help, they could begin defining themselves by what they embraced instead. The journey back to Coalition space would take weeks, but Varric already knew the Coalition he returned to would never be the same. Humanity had shown them another way, not just to survive in the darkness, but to thrive in the light. And as if reading his thoughts, the humans began to sing, a spontaneous chorus of voices raised in harmony, echoing through the Whisperwind's corridors. The alien crew, initially startled, soon found themselves drawn to the sound, gathering to listen with fascinated attention. It's an old Earth song, explained Commander Reyes when they finished, about explorers venturing into the unknown together. Sing it again, requested Miri, her bioluminescent appendages pulsing with excitement. And teach us the words. As humans and aliens joined voices, creating a harmony never before heard in the galaxy, Varric knew with certainty that the age of hiding was over. The Galactic Coalition, with humanity's help, was finally ready to step out of the shadows and into a brighter, bolder future. Together, they would face whatever came next, not with fear, but with courage. Not from hiding, but standing tall. Not in silence, but with voices raised in unity. Onwards.